Nothing pisses off a guy more when you don't try to keep him. When he pulls away, when he does his goofy shit, and then you go the opposite direction and you don't try to convince him to stay. Let me tell you something, as a guy, that hurts our ego. We want to see you cry. We want to see you go to Bob the therapist. We want to see you get a dog to deal with the pain. But when you don't try to keep us, something amazing begins to happen. Something crazy starts going on in a man's mind. Once you understand this, you'll never try to keep a guy. In fact, you'll try to push him away. Even if you want him real badly, you must never try to keep a guy. He must always try to prove himself. Let me tell you something. This video took days to make and hours to draw these illustrations, okay? So hopefully you guys enjoy this, because you know damn well I put a lot of effort into this video. By the end of this video, hopefully I can encourage you guys to do nothing when you're trying to get a guy to like you, to do nothing when you try to get a guy to commit to you. Because if you really understood what goes on in our minds when you don't try to keep us, you will never put any effort. Okay? Because if you do, don't tell people you watch my channel, all right? And hopefully the owners of this apartment don't catch me making this video. Anyways, let's begin with the video. First thing that they will feel is actually confusion and not love. Now, what do I say by that? Well, the reason why is because he'll start to ask himself, why is she not reacting? Okay, why isn't she trying to hold on to me? Why isn't she reacting to my games, okay? And so he will start crying needy, creepy tears. Why? Because he expects you to chase. He expects you to be needy. He expects you to feed him with your validation that's not earned. And that is problematic to these guys, because a lot of these guys just want a disbalanced relationship. And the beauty about this is that this cracks their confidence. This cracks their confidence and allows you to evaluate him for who he is, rather than for the projected self that they project onto you. And this is actually a really good thing for you. The reason why is this, is because a lot of the times when we walk on eggshells, right, or when we fall in love too fast, you're actually falling in love with the projection, with the fake self, right? And what happens is that when you confuse him, his mask slips off, and you start to see who he truly is. And a lot of the times you get turned off by it. And that is really powerful, because the reason why they try to play these games is because deep down, when you actually get to know them, they're actually repulsive. They're actually unattractive, okay? Shut up, dog, right? They're actually unattractive. So when you see that true self, which they deep down they don't want anybody to see, because they are also repulsed by their true selves, you actually get turned off. And that becomes a powerful thing, right? And a lot of the times, these guys have an external perception, have an aura that they've curated to look confident, to look self-assured, almost to the point of caricature. And that's the thing. Anything that looks like an exaggerated version, a lot of the times behind it is actually the opposite. When somebody looks too confident, when they show no weaknesses in their armor, in reality, they're really brittle inside. They're weak. They're soft. They have no true foundation of confidence, right? So that's one thing. They'll feel confusion. And that confusion is leverage on your part. What do I mean by leverage? Well, not leverage to kick them while they're down. You're not a pit bull, right? Leverage is for you to be able to evaluate who they really are and walk away as soon as possible before you get attached. Confusion is a good thing, but it's a good thing for manipulators. For you, right? It's a good thing for men that are really trying to waste your time, that are really trying to take away the most valuable thing for you, which is time. The next thing is that when you don't try to keep a guy, it comes across as though you have options, right? Now, options doesn't mean you're banging the whole football team. That's not what we're talking about here, people. We're talking about options is that why is that he will treat you with more respect, right? When a woman has options, or this is the most important thing before I say that, is that you got to be willing to show that you have options, okay? Sometimes when you like someone, you actually try to hide the options that you have. You actually try to show the guy that you don't have options, that papi, you're the only one for me. Don't be doing that. Now, don't be parading every guy you dated, but I'm just saying sometimes when you try to curate how your life really is, curate the fact that you have guys in your life trying to court you, you actually lower your value. And I'm not trying to tell you to flaunt them like they're fucking Pokemon cards, But I'm just saying, don't hide the true nature, okay? So you gotta be willing to show the options, because when you do that, you give a guy respect. You inspire him to respect you more, right? You put him in a sexually competitive state, right? Where he sees that other guys are trying to court you. As a guy, when I see that other guys are flirting with my girl, for example, not flirting, but you know what I mean, right? Like I could tell by the looks that in other guys' eye that they want her. A part of me wants to hold on to her a little bit more. Now that doesn't mean that that's all I need, right? Because if a guy needs to see fucking Tyrone trying to get his girl for him to actually appreciate her, that's a red flag, right? But just generally speaking, if you live a social life, if you have a healthy environment, eventually you're gonna be around people that also are healthy mentally and that treat you nice. And sometimes when you're dating a girl in the beginning, you might misinterpret friendly gestures as flirting, as more than just friendliness. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's a healthy level of that. Everyone does that. But just enough of that makes the guy feel like, you know what, this girl that I'm with, she has options, right? Sometimes when you're needy and creepy, that's another thing, shows that you have no options. Why? Because you're blind, right? Even guys would say, holy shit, like, and this is actually real truth, this is the truth, that sometimes a woman could be so needy that she doesn't see her value, right? She doesn't see how much valuable she is, and a guy will take advantage of that, right? Showing that you have options is the opposite of being needy and creepy. And the next thing is that when you show him options, his ego will create obsession, right? That type of obsession. What do I mean by obsession? Well, guess what? When a guy senses that other guys want you, that insecurity is going to create more negative thoughts, right? The insecurity of other people wanting you is going to create more negative thoughts, which will occupy you're going to occupy his mind in your absence. That's a cool style that she has. Right? That's a pretty cool style. I like the hat, right? Oh my God, Father Alex is being creepy. Sorry, man, right? That could recreate that obsession, right? But when you're the only one, when you make him think that you have no other options. Now, again, when we talk about options, I mean that other guys won't like you. Sometimes as a guy, I forget how attractive you are. I swear to God, that even happens, right? That happens that I forget that the woman that I'm with is really attractive. That it's a character flaw on my end, right? Some guys have that more than others. But it's important that every now and then, as a guy, I get reminded, okay, I forget, she's a shit, right? Now, next thing is that it's all about leverage, okay? So when you're dating a guy, especially in the beginning, and you show him you have options, a guy will be a little bit more, will actually start acting with a little bit less cockiness, right? He'll treat you better. He'll be more romantic. That's a big part right there, right? When I know that you have options, I will treat you better. I will take you out on better dates. I won't take you to McDonald's, right? I will treat you like a queen, okay? As you can see, these guys are all trying to be needy and creepy with her. By the way, people, if you guys ever want to come to my meditation events, free meditation events, and free art events, click on the description down below. I have events in New York City. And also, I'm giving you guys the options to post my videos on TikTok. If you guys want to post my videos on TikTok, you guys can do that for free. I'm just letting you guys know, you guys can clip my videos and post them on TikTok. Last thing is that, not the last thing, what am I talking about? Next thing is that he wants to be wanted more than wanting to connect. Okay, now this is a creepy guy who wants to use you. But I wouldn't date that guy. Shut up, I'm the artist, okay? Some men will leave you if you don't worship them. Why? Because they don't want an equal relationship. They want you to be so needy and creepy that you're willing to give up your firstborn for them, right? Power imbalance, or better yet, a healthy relationship is unbearable to these guys. So if you're not desperate for them, not desperate for their attention, they can't stand that. That looks like, anyways. So this naturally filters out the wrong guys, right? This is actually something that I wrote that I want to read to you guys. This was in one of my newsletters where I talked about this that I found really cool. And it says, a lot of men don't always know the difference between wanting a woman and liking the feeling of being wanted by her. That's the key difference, right? When a woman is texting, checking in, over-explaining, forgiving, asking where things stands, or trying to keep the connection alive, he gets a steady emotional mirror. Her efforts keeps telling him she cares, I matter, I still have access, she's still emotionally available to me. That feels good to him, but does not always mean he deeply wants her. Sometimes he just likes the comfort of being important to somebody. Sometimes he just likes the power he has over you more than the feeling of wanting you. A lot of the times, these types of guys just come from unstable households where they didn't get enough attention, didn't get enough hugs, they didn't get enough love. So when she suddenly stops trying to keep you, that mirror disappears. Now he has to sit with himself. Now all of a sudden he has to sit with his insecurities. Do I actually miss her? Or do I miss the way she made me feel? Or do I miss the way she made me feel about myself? That's where the overthinking starts. That's when he starts acting needy and creepy, and some men start acting actually very controlling. Because if he only wanted to be wanted, he'll get irritated, dismissive, or look for another woman to validate him. But if he actually wants her, the silence starts bothering him differently. He starts replaying things. He starts wondering if he lost access. He starts realizing her presence meant more than he admitted. So some guys will leave when you don't want them. But then some guys, the guys that are not toxic, the guys that truly want something meaningful, they'll start getting vulnerable and asking what's going on, right? He'll start to sense that there's something off going on in this relationship, and he'll want to fix it. He'll open up about his true feelings and tell you that he wants something more. A toxic guy, a guy that just wants power over you, man, they won't get vulnerable. They'll get manipulative or just leave. The next one is that you become unforgettable. We gotta be quiet because I don't think they know I'm here. You become unforgettable. What do I mean by that? Well, this is for the toxic motherfuckers. This is for the pit bull owning. No, I'm kidding with you. This is for the guys that are toxic, guys that have a lot of insecurities, guys that in other words that have a tough time getting over people. Because this is the truth. If you struggle getting over exes, you're gonna be problematic to your future relationships. Because you're gonna have unnecessary attachments to your ex, okay? And a lot of the time, these are the types of people that unfortunately cheat. These are the types of people that make us feel insecure because they haven't gotten over their ex, and that's just the truth behind it, right? And these are the types of people also, not just that, but the types of men that have fragile egos. Men remember cases that lowers their self-esteem. Right? Especially if they have bad coping habits. And a lot of the times these guys, again, I'm generalizing, but I'm generalizing for a reason. Sometimes they have drug habits, okay? Sometimes they can be very obsessive people, highly motivated, highly ambitious. And I say that because sometimes they can be really externally, superficially attractive. That's the thing. With every positive comes a negative. Okay, highly competitive men don't forget a lot of the times. Think about Michael Jordan. You don't think Jordan has exes he can't forget? He has people who wronged them in his head, and he can't forget about that to this day. With love, I can imagine he does that. So if you're attracted to men who have a lot of glamour, who need to have the best, and you need to have a guy who also is the best, you might attract guys who are not over their exes and who might cheat a lot. But look at him, he's fucking remembering Melissa. You believe that shit? By the way, Melissa, she's Indian. Not being fought over hurts their ego as well, okay? So when you are able to show that, when you don't prioritize them, right? When you don't show that you're not fighting for them, you're not fighting and doing backflips for them, right? Paradoxically, it hurts their ego. All right, it hurts their ego. It makes them say, why am I not good enough? Why isn't she crying? Why isn't she having a nervous breakdown for me? Why isn't she having a nervous breakdown for me? Oh my God, Father Alex has committed a felony. Shut the fuck up, okay? Next one is that low self-esteem makes men never forget, right? That's why they cheat, all right? And this is why they remember. It's because it's just like this, right? Not only do you remember people who give you intense experiences, let's sit down here so that they don't hear me. Not only do you not forget people who give you intense experiences, because when you really think about it, right? Imagine you are a person in the woods, right? And you found a place that has berries, and there's berry in the food. Your brain is gonna remember where there was berries. Why? Because it's advantageous. It's evolutionarily advantageous. But also, on the other hand, if you find a place that has a bear, you know, that has like a fucking pit bull roaming around the streets, especially in the Bronx, you're never gonna forget the place where you got bitten by a pit bull as a child. You're never gonna forget that. Why? Because if you forget where there's danger, you might repeat it and it might have evolutionary consequences. So people with fragile egos, people who hurt them, they never forget them. Now you gotta remember this. If that's the case, if you show them that you could get over them, that you could move on, they're never gonna forget you. But that don't mean that they love you. That don't mean that they're gonna come back to your life from a place of love. They're gonna come back to you. They're gonna want to come back to your life to make things even. So you gotta remember, you gotta be very careful with men like this. Okay, so you become unforgettable, but not in a good way. Okay, because the type of unforgettableness you want is the type of unforgettable that they're with you, and because you guys spend time together, you guys know each other, you guys see each other consistently. That's why you're unforgettable, not because you're a ghost of the past. That type of unforgettableness is not good. You don't want that type of unforgettableness. Next one is your absence increases your value. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Well, guess what, right? Some men have character flaws. What do I mean by that? They only value things that are at a distance. Now, let me explain why that is. Okay, the reason why is because when they don't get love from their parents directly as children, they start to fantasize out of stress, as a way to relieve the stress, as a way to relieve the tension. They start to fantasize, and they use that form of escapism as a way to self-soothe. They may think about video games, they may get into video games, they may read books, they may imagine things. But the point is that a child's reality can be so intense when they're not soothed by their parents that they start to find self-soothing in fantasy rather than connection. So what does that mean? Well, guess what? Fantasy doesn't exist. They start to associate present things in the moment as stressful things, and they start to desire things that are in their heads. As soon as they get the things they want in their heads, they're going to be disappointed because they never learned how to connect with reality. And so these types of people, unfortunately, start to fall in love with what's in their fantasy. So rather than connect with people, they rather fantasize, meaning they rather isolate themselves. So they might want you as long as you stay in their fantasy. As soon as they get to know you, as soon as you start showing love, as soon as you start showing appreciation, they get turned off. But as soon as you start taking it for granted, as soon as you pull away, as soon as they feel like they're losing you, they start to fantasize you, and then they start to chase that fantasy once again. But they give you the illusion that they actually want you. When in reality, they don't. You know, where they're broken on the inside. They could be fixed with honesty and an open mind. They could be fixed, right? But at the present moment, these types of people are more geared towards desiring what's not there, desiring the phantom man, the phantom woman, right? They don't value reality. They value a fantasy. So you lose that crown when you're there. As soon as you show them that that you're able to get over them, as soon as you show them that you're not willing to fight for them because they're not appreciating you, that's when they start crying. That's when they start acting neat and creepy. That's when they start chasing after you. And that's just a fact. These people, you can't fix them. You gotta find someone who knows how to connect with reality. You gotta find someone who wants something real, who wants something meaningful, and once they get it, they hold on to it. They don't look for something better. That's just someone who in reality, they're just looking for a high. They're using people as a source of self-esteem. And you're never really gonna be happy with people like that. And trying to change them, the only way to stay in their lives, look, they make good sugar daddies. They just keep it that way. They make good sex buddies, okay? They make good good dating people who you date, people who you admire. They know how to gain followers. They make good politicians. They make good business acquaintances, business owner. They make good acquaintances just to have as friends at a distance. But when you get close, unfortunately for them, and they know this too, when they're older, they start to realize it. They can't manage reality. They can't manage a real connection. Maybe the fact that things are becoming equal makes them feel insecure, so they sabotage it. And it's not their fault. What happens is that they just didn't get the love that they need. And don't feel bad for them. Feel bad for them, but walk away from them. Don't try to fix these people, man. So what's valuable to them, it's what's not there. What's valuable to them is what's at a distance. And that is such a difficult reality to live. If you're like that, what you got to do is engage with reality. Stop using people as stimulation. Stop using people as as tools for you to step over, as tools for you to feel better than, and learn to live life without stimulating yourself and live in more of a simple, stoic life. That simplicity will get you in touch with reality, with what's in front of you, not with what's in your fantasy. You know. So let's summarize this, people. Okay, before Pitbull bites me. Listen. So, one, the reason why guys, what you call it? The reason why it's sorry about that, people. Fuck, I forgot, right? These videos take days for me to make, to be honest with you. The reason why guys chase you more, desire you more when you don't try to keep them is because, one, you come across as though you have options, right? And when you have options, their insecurities get, you know, hurt, and it kind of hurts when you start to have options. That's why you got to show guys that you have options. What's the first thing they feel actually is confusion and not love. This cracks their confidence and allows you to see them as they are, which sometimes can actually turn you off, which is important because you're actually seeing them for who they are, not by the image that they project. You become unforgettable to them. Okay. Your absence increases your value, right? There was another one that's actually very important that I don't think I put it here. Your absence increases your value. Confusion, not love. Oh, he wants to be wanted more than wanting to connect, right? And like I said, these people will live a very lonely existence in their lives. Best not to save them, right? If you guys want to learn more, check out my course, The Commitment Formula. Tomorrow we're recording a video about projection. So we should have it up by tomorrow by clicking on the description down below. You guys are welcome to upload my videos on TikTok if you guys want to do that. For one-on-one coaching, go to mindfulattraction.org. And I'll see you guys next time because I don't want these neighbors to know I'm recording in here.